All right, Cynthia. I see you've got a few notes. Take us through this.
I like how you took a deep breath.
Well, it's a 70-page report. That is a stack. And it's not paper clipped. It's got like the full bore clip. I know you mean business when you come out with the big clips. Woo! There's a lot in here.
Ooh, baby. Yeah, so this is a report that was commissioned by DPS, which is the Department of Public Safety.
Who runs the Texas Medical Marijuana Program.
Correct, the Compassionate Use Program. And so they commissioned this report to discuss what needs to happen to help the existing TCUP program. So, give them some assists.
Yeah, and I think it's important everybody understand a little bit of background on this. The TCUP program right now and the 3 license holders that exist within the TCUP program are very anti-hemp.
Yes.
It's not a how do we play nicely together, it's a how can they get rid of us.
Yes.
And so it's turned into an us versus them situation, and I think everybody understands that. We've really been trying to be good actors in this and help them. I don't want to see the program go away. I understand that there is issues and overlap and some other things within these two industries that are competing, but they have taken a stance where they just want us gone.
Yes.
And so that's, I believe, important to understand the context of this report and the perspective they have.
Yeah, so the entire model for participants in the TCUP program is that there's literally no other product that approximates that product. Right? The entire business model is built on regulatory capture, market capture, with no competition whatsoever. We've said before, it's a state-sponsored monopoly, and this is supporting the state-sponsored monopoly.
And I think there's one other thing that's important to understand too. When this program was created, the THC market around hemp largely didn't exist.
Right. It didn't exist at all.
Yeah. So that didn't come around until much later. And so this program has been in Texas for a while. Now, something to think about, this program I think now is 9 years old, if I'm correct. Was it 2015,
I don't remember when they legalized.
Somewhere in there. I think they actually say it on the first page. Hold on one second. Yeah, 2015, Texas legislature passed Senate Bill 339. Now, it didn't actually go into effect, and I don't think licenses were issued until 2016, 2017.
Yeah.
But for the most part, this Texas medical marijuana sort of has existed since 2015. Okay. So we're going on 10 years old now, and there's still only 3 licenses.
Correct, and there's a reason for that, I'm sure. So DPS, which oversees, and so DPS by design is the state agency that oversees the TCUP program because it is federally illegal marijuana, and so in a weird twist, the cops oversee the program.
Yeah, and so another thing, hemp is run by Department of State Health Services, DSHS, DISHES. If you ever hear say DISHES, that's what we're referring to. The hemp program is run by DSHS, which is a separate group than DPS, which runs the Texas TCUP Compassionate Use Program.
Because they're 2 entirely separate industries, and I guess it makes sense on some level to have the cops overseeing the federally illegal stuff, whatever.
Well, if the feds show up, they got to have somebody there to get them away.
Correct. So anyway, so DPS hired. So this is the thing, is if you want to get an unbiased look or you want an assessment of a particular thing, right? In this case, we're talking about medical marijuana, right? And this is not a big reveal because we're going to talk about it, but hemp plays a big role. So this report is not exclusive to the TCUP program. It's not only about medical marijuana. Hemp gets dragged in there, kicking and screaming, I might add, gets dragged in there. And what I found interesting is that the company that they chose, and you can talk about it some more.
Oh, I'd love to talk about them.
Called Weeds.
Weeds, period.
Weeds, period.
Which?
Located in a state that has recreational marijuana, which Texas does not want, but somehow that's the company that they hired.
So I'm going to read a note off their website. This is the company that was hired by DPS to prepare this report on behalf of the Compassionate Use Program. It's called the Compassionate Use Program Analysis. So this is off the weeds.team page on their website. Weeds began as a collaboration of legacy medical cannabis operators and regulators tasked with building a new regulatory scheme for New Mexico State Cannabis Program. Our founders were appointed by the governor to chair and staff for New Mexico Marijuana Legalization Work Group, a task force of more than 20 regulators, legislators, patients, and operators who studied regulation in every state and drafted a roadmap to a new regulation structure and best practices for state-level cannabis regulation, marijuana regulation. Let's see. Today, we help medical and adult use entrepreneurs navigate the ever-changing rules of licensing compliance and support state and local regulators looking to create regulations to ensure a safe and prosperous industry. So the company that was hired is from a recreational state that has recreational marijuana, and they are a company that makes money by helping people get licenses in states for marijuana.
Yes.
They have nothing to do with hemp, from what I can tell.
They have nothing
It's strictly
to do with
marijuana
hemp.
licensing, marijuana consulting.
Correct.
All of their money comes from marijuana.
Yes. So in the report, and there's only 4 things that we're going to focus on. So the report attempts to balance opposing ideas in support of helping one single operator, because one operator in Texas has 70% of the market. So this entire report is literally a call to action to save one company at the expense of hundreds of companies. So what is the Star Trek thing? The needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few.
He raised his hand and said, the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few.
Except in this case, the need of the one outweighs the needs of the many.
Dude, that was Star Trek again.
So, I mean, it is unbelievable that anybody would take this report and say, oh yeah, this is fair and balanced. So it demonstrates that there's a market for medical marijuana, but it is small and shrinking, while the market for federally legal hemp continues to grow. So they actually point that out on their own. And we all know that the economic impact in 2022 for hemp was
$8 billion
there you
in
go.
Texas.
Ding, ding, ding. I wouldn't have cared about this report, except for the fact that it calls for expanding the medical marijuana program and eliminating hemp.
Yeah, and let's be clear about this. You know, we are, if you put this into the sort of context of big picture, right? These 3 license holders can come into hemp anytime they want.
Oh my God, they
Literally,
absolutely
it's like
can.
it's like a $150 licensing fee to DSHS. They could tomorrow sell hemp if they wanted.
Correct.
Tomorrow.
It is a choice.
It is a choice. Now, what would it take for us to get a marijuana license? Let's play the flip side.
$500,000.
Not even possible.
It's not even possible.
So-
There's like over 100 applications that haven't even been looked at yet.
I was told the last application process that they went through and told people they could submit applications, there was over 900 of them.
Oh, okay.
Not one was approved.
So we'd have to stand in line, be number 901, throw out a few $1 million.
Well, they aren't even going to look at it. It's not possible. It doesn't
Right.
matter how much money you
So
put into
these
it. They
people-
will not give you a license.
Right. So they could get into hemp, but again, and this is not a personal thing, this is obviously a business decision where someone has decided that over 50,000 jobs are not important because their business is because they made a risky decision that is not paying off the way they wanted, despite making $20 million in 2023. I mean, that's not nothing, right? But they have decided that that's not enough and they need more. Okay, so the other thing, so if you expand the program incrementally, because that's what would happen, this legislature is not going to just, super open it up or approve, whatever. That's not going to happen. So basically what they're asking for in this report is that you reduce the options that consumers, older adults, veterans, that you reduce the options that they have and force them into a program they clearly don't want.
Well, not only that, a lot of them may not qualify for this program.
Correct, because it's so restrictive. But again, that was a choice to get into that program.
Correct.
Yes. So it lays the burden for the largest operator in the state. It lays the financial burden of their success at the feet of the state. It says, if the state doesn't do this, this operator could go out of business because of competition. And this is America. This is America where everybody competes and may the best company, person, candidate, whatever win, but not here. Here we have a monopoly where it's like, oh, no. The state is now responsible for, or they allege that the state is responsible, they imply that the state is responsible for one company's success.
We've called it a state-sanctioned monopoly.
Because it is.
This is a push even harder in that direction of asking the state to come in, wipe out the hemp industry, give it to the marijuana program. I mean, it's literally asking the state to do your dirty work for you, to make your sort of, poor business decisions for you.
How many people do you think that largest operator employs? Just guess, because I have no idea. What do you think?
I have no idea either. What's interesting about the TCUP program, there's some data available on it. A lot of it is not public. And what's interesting, if you go on the DPS website, they've actually removed data. There used to be more data. A lot of it's been removed. There's even less data now on the TCUP program than there used to be, and there's very little available now.
So
they've removed almost everything.
Let's say it's a largest company and they employ 100 people. That sounds fair, right? 100 people?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's say they employ 100 people. So what they're saying is that those 100 people should keep their jobs and 50,000 plus people should lose their jobs.
When all they have to do is do hemp.
Correct.
But we can't do marijuana.
No way.
But they
it's
can
not
do
possible.
hemp. And
Absolutely.
we're welcoming them, by the way.
Yeah.
Like
I'll tell them what products sell best. Here's your formulation. This, like, yeah, you want to compete on a level playing field? Let's do it. But commissioning a report that says you need to wipe out an entire industry,
it's dirty.
It is dirty.
It's dirty.
Doity. Sucio. Okay. It also claims in the report, it says that the dispensing organizations have specifically correlated the growth of hemp-derived products with the massive decline in the compassionate use program, and yet they wonder where former TCUP program people will find an alternative.
I wonder.
Well, let's see if you shut down the hemp industry that the marijuana people are saying people prefer, but you ask at the same time where those people will go. It's not going to be to the TCUP program, it's going to be to the black market.
They're following the trend that all the marijuana companies are doing and blaming their inadequacies, their overregulation, their bad business models on hemp.
Yes.
This is a common occurrence right now all across the country. This is nothing new. This is the marijuana playbook right now against hemp of our industry is struggling. It's hemp's fault. Get rid of hemp.
Yeah.
When they don't realize that this is the best part of the industry.
This is the best part of
and
the
the
industry.
largest now, too.
This is the best part of the industry. And also, by the way, some marijuana can be 30%, right? So now you're talking about 0.3% D9 hemp products being sold in the state legally. This report suggests that they should get rid of all that, which is just going to open up the black market, which will bring in marijuana that's 40% THC Delta 9.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, Delta 9 THC. Yeah, so anyway, okay. So the report is definitely not objective. And it,
I mean, it's not surprising. It's coming from a marijuana company. A marijuana company asked another marijuana company to do an analysis.
Yeah.
Are we
well,
surprised by what they
I don't know who asked for the
said?
report. I don't know who asked for the report, but that's probably true. So it claims that the hemp market is unregulated. Here is a company that is a consultancy, and they couldn't even be bothered to go online and check hemp regulations in Texas. So they claim it's unregulated. They start off with that.
That's standard, by the way. We see that a lot in reference and documents, and people that don't like us, they immediately call the hemp industry unregulated.
Yeah.
And we've covered this before, and I'll cover it again. Cynthia talks about this a lot. Hemp is federally legal. Marijuana is federally illegal. It is still a crime, a federal crime to have marijuana, to produce it, to sell it. Like, you can't do that per the federal government. Now, hemp is federally legal, and it's also state legal. So it's a very different animal. These are people that are literally doing something that is federally illegal and saying that they're in the right.
So as part of the, recommendations to help the TCUP program, one of them suggests that Texas weaken border security so that these federally illegal drugs can move around the state more comfortably.
Wait, what?
So page 28, they talk about how potentially somebody could get pulled over. There it is. Somebody could get pulled over because they're driving around because of the way the program, so at the end of the day, they have to return all the inventory back to like one central location. And so what I read was like, hey, maybe, loosen up on the border security thing because we have these people transporting these illegal products.
Yeah, they literally have a U.S. Border Patrol logo on there.
Yeah. Enhanced
Enforcement Zone. So, okay, so I'm trying to understand this. It sounds like
you used to do enforcement.
Yeah, but I wasn't Border Patrol. So this is saying that the Immigration and Nationality Act and subsequent federal regulations established an enhanced enforcement zone administered by the U.S. Border Patrol. In this zone, U.S. Border Patrol agents enjoy greater liberty to search persons and vehicles traveling through the zone if agents develop probable cause to believe violations of federal law are occurring. So what they are doing is federally illegal.
Yes.
So they're asking for the ability to go through Border Patrol without being searched. What could go wrong there?
Nothing. I mean, hey, and Texas
By the way, they
doesn't care about border security, right?
I don't believe Texas even has the authority to grant that. That's a federal thing.
I have no idea.
So one of the reasons, it's very interesting, but it seems like what they're asking is for the federal government not to have enforcement on their illegal products they're
Correct.
moving around the state.
Correct.
Am I reading that wrong?
No, you are reading it 100% correct. Also interesting, in this thing, and listen, I grew up in the 80s, right? When everything was anti-smoking, don't smoke, smoking is bad for you, smoking is bad for you, smoking will kill you. One of their suggestions is that they allow for flower to be sold through the medical program. So I guess nobody bothered to do any research to discover that what we've all known for 100 years, combustion is what causes carcinogenic chemicals in products that then give you cancer. So literally, they are saying, hey, Texas, why don't you let these medical marijuana patients who already have some kind of condition also have the opportunity to get some lung cancer or throat cancer? Either one. but I mean, super cool. Okay. So the report also misrepresents certain facts, and I think they're trying to capitalize on the fact, maybe, I don't want to attribute motivation because I don't know what was in their head or whatever, but it could capitalize the way they do this on the fact that a lot of legislators, and we have new legislators also, don't have like intimate knowledge of the industry, right? So they're going to get this official report and it's going to be like, oh my God, this must be true. It's so many pages, it must be true. Who makes 77 pages of stuff that's not true, right? So I think that is what they're banking on. So it compares the Texas market to New Mexico, Illinois, Maryland, and Florida, but fails to note that Governor DeSantis vetoed a bill that would have severely restricted the hemp market. It fails to note that New Mexico, Illinois, and Maryland all have recreational marijuana, different animals. So it doesn't mention any of that. It doesn't mention, well, it came out before that, but it didn't talk about the ballot amendment in Florida that failed. It uses fear-mongering to highlight what they believe to be threats to the illegal market. So they use phrases like so-called hemp products can be naturally occurring, partially synthetic or totally synthetic, and are produced under the guise of federal legality. What? I don't want to do it in English. ¿Qué carajo es eso? I mean, come on.
It is federally legal. It's not the guise of federal legality.
Thank you.
Nobody knows what synthetic means.
No, they're idiots. It's like, look it up.
Yeah,
Talk to a chemist.
Well, no, they know what it means, and they're purposefully misusing that word.
And I think that they're counting on the legislatures not knowing these things.
They're
and so
playing on non-industries people's ignorance
Correct.
around that word. That word is a very specific word with a very specific meaning.
Also, partially synthetic cannabinoids do not exist. There's no such thing. But this is who they hired to do this report. They should have hired us. We would have done a much better, and it would have been unbiased because we know how to do that. Let's see. Clearly false is the assertion that the hemp-derived market provides an open, and you can fill this in, you can backfill this. So clearly false is the assertion that the hemp-derived market provides an open invitation for exploitation by illicit operators illegally importing these products from other markets. Why? There's no illegal importation.
There's no marijuana coming to Texas from Mexico anymore. I'm just going to openly say that. There's none.
Hemp products can freely cross state lines. What illegal importation of illegal products is being perpetrated by the hemp industry? I got nothing. I mean, I'm literally speechless, and you know that never happens. Let's see here. Then the report, written by a marijuana consultancy, states that there are unregulated dispensaries. Can you tell me, don't mansplain it, can you tell me what an unregulated dispensary is?
It would be a store that is selling marijuana without a license. Because, I mean, dispensary is typically a marijuana word.
Why are you attributing unregulated dispensaries to the hemp industry when the hemp industry has regulation and has had since 2019?
There's 8,000 hemp licenses in the state of Texas.
Yeah, so why are they saying that?
They're all regulated. They're all licensed.
So again,
even the CVSs and the grocery stores in Texas that sell like CBD balm, they are licensed hemp operators within Texas.
That is correct. So this guy jumps between, or these people jump between marijuana, hemp, whatever. And so it really is kind of a crap show. Let's see. Another glaring error is that it states that in 2022, the number of registered retailers to sell smokable hemp products had increased 247% since 2020. There is no special designation for selling smokable products. That does not exist. So that's wrong. Also, the market has already decided what it prefers. Talking numbers, just talking revenue, the market wants hemp-derived cannabinoid products. Apparently, they don't want what they can get from the TCUP program.
So there's a really interesting quote here I want to address. Page 29 on the report, and it's about in the middle of the page. They are talking about, during the one recent convening of the CUP working group, one licensed dispensing organization, DO, expressed that his company has taken on more than $1 million in new investment to meet growth projections for 2022, that it slowed in 23. They go on to say, and this is a quote, I'm going to read it exactly. Federal regulatory momentum came to a standstill, earnings slowed down to single-digit growth as inflation eroded margins and squeezed consumer wallets, and financing continued to dry up with regional banks and credit unions tightening their credits in the face of a banking crisis in the U.S. They are literally defining the issue that they are dealing with and they're blaming it on hemp. Right there, page 29. This explains the issues throughout marijuana, throughout the entire country, and yet they are creating they have 69 other pages of blaming hemp for their issues, when right there on middle of page 29, it's exactly the issues they're facing.
Have you ever seen those people, and I hope you haven't because it's just terrible, people who like kick their dog because they're just frustrated? That's what this is. Just kick somebody because you don't like the state of the world.
Well, I will give the company, Weed Period, credit for figuring out what the issue is. It's right there. But they went on for 69 other pages about other stuff. But the issue they're dealing with is right there.
So they point out some other interesting things. They point out that and this is not me, this is in the report, one single marijuana operator dominates the state with 73% of the market. 11 physicians, that's 2.3% of all the physicians enrolled, accounted for 53% of prescriptions issued. One doctor issued more than 10,000 prescriptions in a year.
How much does a doctor make on those prescriptions?
I think it's like $100.
I mean, that's the way it was in California when they first passed their medical program, is you just go to Venice Beach, just get a prescription.
Did you have to pay the doctor for the prescription? Yeah, that's a money-making generator right there. Yeah.
Yeah, in Oklahoma, you just go online, you do a 5-minute Zoom call.
Also, this is allegedly a medical program, and this is in the report because I didn't know this, there is no set term for an expiration of a prescription, nor is there a requirement for the physician and the patient to have regular consultation to review the treatment.
So once you get a prescription, it's good forever?
Yeah, apparently. No set term for an expiration of a prescription. I copied and pasted that.
Interesting.
Yeah. So what kind of medical program is this that there are no
Sounds
controls?
super medical.
Doesn't it though? I mean, come on. Let's see here. This is a quote from page 40. Put simply, patients, physicians, and low THC dispensaries have collectively, I don't know what the difference between a low THC dispensary and an unregulated one is, but okay, have collectively raised concerns that the hemp-derived market provides a desirable alternative to the low THC program for many patients seeking convenient access and product diversity. Just gonna let that sit there for a minute. You might wanna print that out, that quote, because seriously, que carajo? I mean, by the way, this is because Perry doesn't like cursing. Whoa. Settle down, homie. That's right. It's in their report.
I don't even know what to say to
right?
that.
I'm telling you, it's like,
There's a better product. You should get rid of it.
yes, there is something people
There's
want
something
more.
that makes way more
Get
sense.
it out of here.
We got to kill it.
Kill it. Gotta go. It's gotta go because people want it more than they want our stuff.
And on the business side, they can't compete. So what do they have to do? They have to compete on the regulatory side. So it's a regulatory capture. It's a play. It's really fascinating.
I will reiterate what our pal Philip says all the time, that marijuana, federally illegal marijuana companies that lobby with their marijuana money are lobbying, they're money laundering. They're money laundering their dirty money.
Listen to this. I love this quote. This is a quote out of this report. Because Congress created this problem with the passage of a broad farm bill in 2018, many states have chosen to wait for Congress to take action to address concerns. So they're calling the farm bill a broad and a Congress created the problem.
Yes.
By making a federally legal product and not making marijuana federally legal.
Wait a minute.
Congress has created a problem.
So Congress created a problem. I'm just going to talk to you almost in the abstract here. So you didn't create a problem when you decided to take millions of your dollars and go into a risky venture. You're not responsible for that problem. Somebody else is responsible. Mm-hmm. So what we have here, boys and girls, is the new America where nobody wants to take responsibility for their actions and or bad decisions, also good ones, right? So you made a risky play, you don't like it, and it's somebody else's fault.
Yep.
Okay, good to know.
All your excuses are lies.
Let's see. State legal, but federally illegal marijuana programs across the country are failing at a rapid pace because number one, they only favor a limited number of operators. Two, they're poorly constructed. And three, they are unsustainable. There's a footnote for that. What is our takeaway from this? That the hemp industry, what are we? Free enterprise, capitalism, make your own way, have your own business, open markets, competition.
Whoever does the best for their customers wins.
And I will say this, and I believe that I am qualified to say this because I am two of the following. Marijuana companies, particularly the ones here, hate women, They hate minorities, they hate farmers, they hate small business owners, because that is who they want to put out of business. So we have a report going to the legislature that says, hey, all these people who overcame obstacles, who put in their own money, who grew a business, get rid of them, because we want you to only support us. Does anybody like this for any? I mean, how is this possible? Hey, Bridgestone, get rid of Michelin.
Yeah, literally.
Like,
It's
I have Michelin tires, they're very good.
Yeah, it's like a cat food company trying to outlaw another cat food company because they don't want to compete against them.
Correct.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Sacrificing an entire industry to support the monopoly of one company is unconscionable
Yeah.
And anti-American.
and anti-American.
Yeah, there are 3 license holders, but I essentially at this point view them as one company.
Correct. And that company apparently hates us.
Well, there's a lot. I was gonna say there's a lot of people that hate us, but actually we've got a lot of friends.
We have a lot of friends.
It used to be a lot of people didn't like us, but now
No,
it
we
seems
have a
like
lot of friends.
we have a lot of friends. There's a lot of people that love us. The feedback and the general just sort of attitude with the politicians in Texas has been phenomenal.
The other thing is, it's like, if you can sleep with yourself at night, knowing that you're advocating to wipe out tens of thousands of jobs and thousands of businesses, and you can still sleep well at night when you know that there is an alternative, meaning hemp, and you're still good with that, wow.
Now, I'm gonna throw something out there that not a lot of people know. So when this program came out in 2015, we were just getting started. This was prior to us being in hemp. Texas passed the hemp bill, HB 1325, in 2019. So back in 2015, we were a company, but we were doing something else. And so this came out, we looked at it. We vetted it with a lawyer, we vetted it with multiple people. We went through very seriously looking at going after getting a license. The determination we walked away was this was not feasible. It was not financially feasible. And even if you raised money to do it, it would never at any point be profitable and be a functional business. Now, there are obviously people that chose to go that path. But from our analysis back in 2015, this program was designed to fail. And I stand by that. We looked at it every way possible. There was no way to make this work. The cost to start this program, the potential on revenue, like you literally, as a nonprofit, this would not work. You cannot do this without raising a crap ton of investor money and literally just throwing money away because this program is set up to fail.
You know what I didn't see in any of these almost 70 pages in the things that they recommended for expanding the program? I didn't see adding more licenses. That never comes up.
Or even just some deregulation. Like, why do they have to store it in one location?
Correct. Yeah.
Right.
They did actually talk about the one location thing.
Okay.
But, you know, the easiest way is to get more people interested in your industry, and then you have more advocates and more whatever. But there is no recommendation here to expand the licenses because you can't have a monopoly if you have competition.
Yep.
And on that note,
And there you go. That is the Compassionate Use Program analysis from 2024. So thank you for joining us as always. I hope we kind of went through this as much as we could. It's a pretty gigantic report. If you want to read it, I'm sure Lewis will probably pop up a link and you can kind of plow through it. Be ready though. This is a big boy.
nothing.
Thank you for joining us as always. Happy hunting. We love you guys.
are you moving my Post-its?
I'm adjusting it. No, that one was there. I didn't move it.
You sure?
Yeah.